That's perfectly right, but why didn't you pick 135? Good. Brilliant. Nice job. Okay, now, does everybody realize that even though I circled these separately, all four are answers? And just because there's a comma between them just shows that they're two separate answers, not that that's a point. Okay? All right, example 3. Nice job, Sierra. Come get a prize.
Okay.
All right. Next up, let's try this one. Tangent squared x plus tangent x minus 2 equals 0. This time I want your answer between 0 and 2 pi. That should tell you I want your answers in radians, not degrees. Anybody have an idea? Looking for a brilliant idea right now. Quad formula or factoring, depending on what it is. So actually right now, how about you guys just change it into x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. Remember how to factor? Is this a Xbox problem or just an X problem? It's just an X. An Xbox always will get you there, though. It's more work, but it will always get you there. What goes on top? -2 on the bottom? 1. We're looking for two things that multiply to get -2, but add to get 1. -1 and +2, right? So this is like x minus 1 and x plus 2 equals 0. Which is the same thing. I'm just going to fill it back in now. Tangent of x minus 1 and tangent of x plus 2 equals 0. Now what? Set them both equal to 0. All right. Solve it with your partner. Go ahead. All right, here's a hint. Everybody look up. One of these you can do with your unit circle, and one you will need inverse tangent in your calculator for. Make sure you're in radians in your calculator.
It's just what we did back here. Whatever divides to equal 1.
Wasn't that -1 though? No, it wasn't.
It's
45? 45.
Sierra, did you want an I'm a winner sign?
Yeah.
All right, come here.
It's like second and then the same.
There you
I think you put it in the degrees in there, and then it comes in radians. So -2 is in degrees.
Raise your hand if your group is struggling with this. All right, since that's most of us, I'm just gonna start leading right now. You okay with that? Okay. All right, look up. So did you get as far as writing, that means tangent of x equals 1?
Yeah,
And tangent of x equals -2?
yes.
Okay. Tangent of x equaling 1 is the exact same problem that we just had. It was what, 45 and 225? But this is in radians, so it should have been pi over 4. And 225 would have been 5 pi over 4. Okay, so we got those so far. Now we need the tangent of -2. I want you to notice something. Look with tangents here. Everybody look up. Do you see how if you divide this by this, you get 1, right? And then directly across the circle is the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so if you add 180, or what is it in radians? Pi? If you add pi to your answer, you'll get the other one that's in that circle. So when we do this, we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going on my calculator. I'm going to hit inverse tangent. That's second and then tangent. And I'm typing in -2. Oh, and you have to make sure your mode is in radians. So go to mode really quick. See, I was in degrees, which was a problem. You got to be in radians. Tangent of -2. I got -1.1.
Yeah.
Okay. So -1.1 about is maybe -1.11. We're going to the nearest hundredth. And this is in radians. What is -1.11? This is going to take a little bit to understand, so be patient now. How many radians in decimals is a whole unit circle? Look at it in radians. It's 360 degrees or 2 pi radians, right? How do I figure out what 2 pi would be in decimals? So I'm going to type in 2 pi into my calculator, about 6.28. That makes sense, right? Because it's like pi twice. And if I subtract 1.11 from that, that's where I would be. 5.17 is one of the answers. Can you visualize where 5.17 would be? What quadrant? Fourth, because this is, remember, this is like 6.28, so 5.17 is in here somewhere, right? And then the opposite one's going to be over here in the second quadrant, exactly opposite of it. So if we subtract pi from this, we should get the other one. So I'm going to subtract another 3.14, and I get about 2.03 is my last one. All right, we're going to do one more, and we've got some time to understand it, so don't get nervous about it. If you can't find something directly on your unit circle, if not, it doesn't have like a 1/2, a square root, a 0, a 1, use your calculator.
Whatever happened to your new calculator?
It's right here. I'm just not using it. I don't have the quad program on there yet. Okay, hint. What could possibly be happening for the next one? All right, cotangent x times cotangent x plus 3 parentheses equals 1. Can we set them equal to 0 right away? Why? Because it equals a 1. No, you can't just set it to 1. Because like the reason why it works with setting it equal to 0 is that if I have two numbers and I multiply them together and I get 0, you know one of my original numbers was 0, right? Like you can't take 2 times -2 and get 0. That's -4. One of them had to be 0, but there's lots of different ways to get 1. So let's just distribute it first. So this becomes cotangent squared x plus 3 cotangent